What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you guys so much for watching. So today I'm going to do a movie review on one of my favorite movies. The movie is called Moonlight. Moonlight was released in 2016. At the 2017 Academy Awards, the movie won 3 awards. It won Best Adapted Screenplay. It won Best Supporting Actor, who was Mahershala Ali. And it also won Best Picture. I don't know if you guys remember, but at the 2017 Oscars, the producers actually announced La La Land as the winner of Best Picture, when in all actuality it was Moonlight, but they just had the wrong envelope. So I don't know if you guys remember that, but yes, that was the year that Moonlight won Best Picture. So a little bit of a synopsis of the movie. The movie is centered around a black young man. His name is Chiron. It's split up into 3 different acts. The first act is his younger years, maybe between the ages of 8 and 10. The second act is his teenage years, maybe between the ages of 16 and 17. And then the third act is 10 years later, at the age of about 26 or 27. So the movie was directed by the director Barry Jenkins. He also wrote the screenplay, and it was based off of a play that was written by Terrell Allen McCraney. And the title of that play is In Moonlight, Black Boys of Blue. And this, a young man, Chiron, he lives in Liberty City, Miami, Florida. And he is a man who is sort of coming to terms with his sexuality. However, that is just one part of his life that the movie highlights. He's also a poor man. He grows up with a single mother. His mother is not necessarily in his life as a mother should be. I won't get into too much detail of her situation. You'll have to watch the movie to see. But there is a light in his life. He is taken under the wing of a drug dealer from his neighborhood, whose name is Juan. That's who Mahershala Ali plays. And his girlfriend slash wife, I'm not sure if they're actually married or not, but his girlfriend or wife, Teresa, who was played by Janelle Monáe. And so they kind of see that this boy is, struggling and doesn't have necessarily the most supportive home at all. And so they kind of take him under their wing. And that is such a beautiful part of the movie. Janelle Monáe, for her first acting role, I think she did an amazing job. In one of the interviews about the movie, she basically said that, in her part, she wanted to be a listener. When Chiron was asking questions about his life, asking questions about himself and about the world, they were just there to listen and answer as best as they could. And so that was really, really amazing to see because if they had not been in his life, I don't know where this boy would have gone. But in his younger years, you see that he's not much of a talker. He's very much an introvert. I don't know if that's because his life at home isn't that good or because he's being bullied at school. And they're bullying him at school because they kind of tell that he is a gay man. Although I will say that I did not see any feminine tendencies in this young boy. So I don't know what they saw in him. Maybe because they saw, he really wasn't doing that too many boyish type things. I don't know what it was that they saw in him, but they could kind of tell. Kids can see that kind of stuff, I guess. And so in his younger years, he's starting to ask questions about who he is. And, he asked those questions to Juan and Teresa. And that's probably one of the best scenes in the first act. In the second act, Chiron is played by Ashton Sanders, who I absolutely love. He's a great actor. He played in The Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington. He was also in a movie on Netflix. I thought that was great. He also was in the limited series on Hulu about the Wu-Tang Clan. So he's a great actor. And the middle of the movie, the second act, is where a lot of things start to happen for Chiron. The teenage years is when he has his first sexual experience and he's going through that. He's also being bullied relentlessly by this one bully in particular. His name is Terrell. And I really was able to relate to the middle part of the movie because I was bullied relentlessly, as you guys saw in my LGBTQ plus Christian journey videos about my middle school years and my elementary school years, that I was bullied quite a lot. And so he's going through that same thing during his middle school years. Now, Sharon does something in this second act that I sometimes wish that I had done. He retaliates in his second act. I won't tell you how. Again, you'll have to see the movie to understand what I'm talking about. But he retaliates. But I have to say that his first sexual experience was so sweet, and it was so meaningful and loving. And I believe that's what everyone's first sexual experience should be like. But it was just really, really sweet, and I absolutely loved it. Sometimes, yeah, it was just great to see. So in the third act, Sharon as a full-grown adult. The director talks in some interviews about this movie. He wanted to explore the concept of nature versus nurture. Nature being, you being who you naturally are, who God created you to be. And then the nurture side of things, how your surroundings kind of shape who you are. And, you kind of have the choice of whether you're going to go with who you naturally are, or who you're kind of brought up to be, who your surroundings kind of make of you. And so in the beginning of the third act, Sharon is leaning towards the nurture side of things, because he's kind of only playing off of what he learned growing up, or the only example that he had growing up. However, in the third act, he gets a phone call. I won't say who the phone call is from, but the moment he gets that phone call and the moment he hears who's on the other side of that line, he immediately goes back to the nature side. He goes back to his true self. He goes back to who he naturally is. And Sharon is played by Trevante Rose in this third act, and he is an amazing actor. To see that switch in the third act was really, really amazing. And you see this musculature. He's a very, very muscular man, and not typically what you would see in a gay man, but that's who he built himself up to be, to get away from the bullying. And he feels as though if he builds up this musculature, he will not have to worry about people bullying him or talking bad about him or anything of that nature. But he really can't escape who he is on the inside. So the third act is probably, I'd have to say is my favorite part of the movie, although I really love the second part. The third act is probably my favorite part of the movie. Some people say that it's a little bit slow because there are really only like 3 or 4 scenes that are going on in the third act, but it's just like in the second act, it's really sweet, and I absolutely love it. So if you have not seen Moonlight yet, it is currently on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for about a year now. Although this movie came out in 2016, I did not see this movie until last year when it came out on Netflix. But I absolutely love this movie. To Barry Jenkins and Terrell Avon McCraney. Barry Jenkins is a heterosexual man, but Terrell Avon McCraney, who wrote this kind of semi-autobiographical piece in Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue, he is a gay man. And so I just want to thank Barry Jenkins and Terrell Avon McCraney for giving the LGBTQ plus community a picture of our lives and allowing us to see it on the big screen. As marginalized people, we don't get to see ourselves in arts and letters often at all. And so to see things like Moonlight, to see things like Pose, to see these different things like Noah's Ark, oh my gosh, to see these different shows and movies that depict our lives is simply amazing. And I can't thank the creators enough for them. So until next time, you guys.